On the 21st of April 1926, number 17 Bruton Street, in the fashionable district of Mayfair, London, was unusually full of people. Elizabeth, the Duchess of York, was about to give birth to her first baby, and her husband Albert had first baby nerves. As well as doctors, nurses, and servants, a government minister, the Home Secretary, was present. For this was no ordinary birth. Albert was the Duke of York, one of the sons of King George V of the United Kingdom, UK. The young Duchess was glad to have an old friend with her, Mrs. Clara Knight, nanny and nursemaid. She had worked for the family since Elizabeth was a young girl. Elizabeth had married Albert, known as Bertie, in 1923. Since then, the couple had lived a fairly quiet life. Bertie was shy and had a stammer, which meant he could not always talk smoothly and fluently. It was his elder brother Edward who took the headlines. He was the Prince of Wales and heir to the throne. Edward was stylish and smart, fashionable and fun, a popular modern prince who would one day be a modern king. Bertie was not particularly stylish and did not like being on show. He had been an officer on a Navy battleship and was the first British royal to pilot a plane. However, he hated making speeches and was nervous of his gruff father. Duchess Elizabeth, on the other hand, could make King George laugh. She said His Majesty could, when he chose, be very funny too. Elizabeth's easy ways and natural charm gave valuable support to her husband. They enjoyed some official duties, such as watching RAF displays at Hendon Aerodrome in London. The young couple didn't have their own home yet, which was why their first baby was born at 17 Bruton Street, which belonged to Elizabeth's parents. Home births were not unusual in the 1920s, but this one met a slight problem. Luckily, the doctors were able to perform an operation called a caesarean section. All went well, and at 2:40 a.m., to the parents' great delight, a baby girl was born. The Home Secretary informed the Lord Mayor of London, and a palace official woke King George V and Queen Mary at 4 a.m. to tell them of their grandchild's arrival. Such a relief and joy, the Queen wrote in her diary. The morning papers reported the birth, of course, but their headlines were also full of grim warnings of a nationwide general strike. The shutdown began on the 3rd of May 1926, halting trains and buses and bringing mines and factories to a standstill. On the 29th of May, baby Elizabeth Alexandra Mary was christened in the chapel at Buckingham Palace. The baby princess wore the same lace gown made for Queen Victoria's children and was baptized at a font filled with water from the River Jordan, the river in which Jesus was baptized, according to the Bible. Baby Elizabeth cried the whole time. The king had wondered about calling his granddaughter Victoria, but decided not to, since the little princess was unlikely ever to be queen. After all, he thought, his son and heir, Edward, would surely marry and have a child who would then be next in line to the throne. In any case, Bertie might also have more children, and any sons would automatically be placed ahead of Elizabeth, as she was a girl.